The long-awaited trial of the infamous Harvey Weinstein has begun today as the victims and their families seek justice.
Early voting for the upcoming midterms begins next Monday. We have everything you need to know before you head out to the polls.
A man and his four-legged best friend take cruising to a whole nother level. Find out more about these best friends later on in the show.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
We have breaking news regarding a shooting at a St. Louis high school. 6 people have been injured in the shooting at Central VPA High School along King Highway, Boulevard, and Arsenal Street. The injuries range from gunshot wounds to shrapnel and even a reported cardiac arrest. Police said they don't know the genders or ages of the victims or how many are students or staff. The victims have been taken to the hospital as we continue to receive updates.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV News at Noon. I'm Isabella Quintanilla.
And I'm Mauricio Ortiz-Segura. Today we're starting off with a weather update from our weather anchor, Kayla Bumpus. Kayla?
Thank you so much, Mauricio. Right now we are facing, Denton County has issued a severe weather warning with severe thunderstorms, so keep an eye out for that. We are having temperatures of 20 degrees Fahrenheit with wind speeds of 18 miles per hour, and it feels about 70 degrees, and it's really rainy. Tonight, we are gonna see similar conditions, temperatures of 66 degrees Fahrenheit, wind speeds reaching all the way to 22 miles per hour, and it's gonna stay pretty rainy. Tomorrow's conditions, it's going to be 70 degrees with wind speeds of 20 miles per hour, and it's going to feel about 70 degrees, and it is finally going to be sunny, so we can enjoy that. That's all I have for you.
Thanks, Kayla. Disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein is on trial in Los Angeles once again for the sex crimes he committed throughout his career. CNN's Kayma Bernal has the report.
Disgraced Hollywood power broker Harvey Weinstein is facing accusers in Los Angeles, a city he once dominated, now the setting for a criminal court case where the former movie mogul faces more charges of sexual assault.
Harvey Weinstein is sort of the poster child of the Me Too movement in terms of somebody who was finally brought to justice.
The LA trial starts Monday and is expected to last at least 2 months. Weinstein has pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of forcible rape and 7 sexual assault charges. The 11 charges involving 5 women stem from alleged incidents from 2004 to 2013 in LA area hotels. The trial follows Weinstein's 2020 convictions of first-degree criminal sexual act and third-degree rape in New York. He's appealing those convictions while serving a 23-year sentence.
He is going to be held accountable for more of the crimes that he's committed against women.
Unlike in New York, where Weinstein was seen coming and going from the courtroom, the 70-year-old, who is now in a wheelchair, will be transferred directly from jail to the LA courtroom each day. During the course of the trial, the 5 women are expected to testify about their allegations that Weinstein sexually assaulted them. 4 additional women are also expected to take the stand, but their accounts did not lead to charges filed against Weinstein.
You have 4 or 5 other people coming into court saying, you know, the same thing happened to me. And not only did it happen to me, but he used the same methodology. It gives the jury some comfort in finding that they can believe the victim.
One expected witness is Jennifer Siebel Newsom, an award-winning filmmaker and partner of the governor of California. Her attorney says she will testify to seek some measure of justice for survivors. Another possible witness, actor Mel Gibson, who could give evidence about one of Weinstein's accusers. Weinstein has maintained his innocence and denied all allegations against him. His former New York attorneys reacting after the 2020 verdicts.
And I think it was tough for him to get a fair trial.
I don't know if he could get one anywhere.
We couldn't find one person who had never heard anything about this.
Hey, ho, ho. The patriarchy has got to go.
The allegations against Weinstein helped launch the Me Too movement, encouraging sexual assault victims to share their stories. The investigation into the mogul now explored in the movie titled She Said.
We're from the New York Times. I believe you used to work for Harvey Weinstein.
The man who once made movies, now the focus of a film himself.
The investigative stories by the New York Times reporters will be the focal point of the film. At least 100 women have publicly accused the sex offender of sexual abuse.
One of the first officers to arrive on the scene of the Robb Elementary School massacre in Uvalde, Texas. Texas State Trooper Juan Maldonado was seen on a body camera video just 4 minutes and 51 seconds after the shooter entered the school. The Texas Department of Public Safety press secretary confirmed Maldonado was fired. Some 91 DPS officers responded to the shooting that resulted in the death of 19 children and 2 teachers. Even though there were 376 law enforcement officers who went to the school, it took over 77 minutes for the gunman to be challenged successfully. A request has been sent to the Texas DPS for more information on the termination, including details about any appeal process.
It's officially that time of the year where everyone starts coming down with something. New cases of a common cold-like virus known as RSV have hit the highest level of any single week in the past 2 years. Fresh data from the CDC shows that more than 7,300 cases of respiratory syncytial virus in the U.S. at the end of last week. For most people, RSV typically causes mild cold-like symptoms, from which recovery time is a week or 2. However, the virus can be more serious for infants and older adults. The current rise in RSV cases is being seen in many parts of the country, and several children's hospitals say they've been overwhelmed with patients. Federal data shows pediatric beds are more full now than any time in the past 2 years. Some health experts predict that there will be a rough winter for Americans to navigate not only RSV, but also COVID-19 and the flu.
If you haven't gotten your COVID-19 vaccine yet, the cost might be coming out of your own pocket within the next few months. As the government contracts come to an end, Pfizer's cost will jump to around $130 per dose. This is fortunately just the commercial list price, and the company is saying that most people will most likely not have to pay much out of pocket. Pfizer does point out that they offer a patient assistance program which can help provide the people without insurance access to vaccines. Government subsidized vaccines are expected to end as early as the first quarter of next year. Early voting kicks off next week. Everything that you need to know before heading to the polls is coming up next.
And guess what else is next week? Halloween! For those kids and kids at heart that decide to go trick-or-treating, we have some safety tips to keep in mind while collecting your candy.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
When you park in front of the ramp, somebody can't make it up the ramp. When somebody can't make it up the ramp, they miss their class. When they miss their class, they fail their final. When they fail their final, they drop out of school. If you drop out of school, you get a face tattoo from a guy named Scorpion. Don't get a face tattoo from a guy named Scorpion. Be courteous. Don't block wheelchair ramps.
Let's look at this study spot by the Lyceum. Not only do these plush seats come with that perfect natural lighting, but you're also granted live lounge music.
How about a peek in the BLB at this post-modern patio? Absolutely breathtaking and a perfect place to review your econ exam.
Now this dystopian-esque clawfoot bathtub is on the lowest floor of Willis Library, suited with a personal lamp and a footrest.
I know where I'll be studying for midterms.
Me too.
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
Mauricio, I'm going to be honest, I took one look outside this morning and saw how gloomy it was, and I did not want to get up.
Yeah, I had to walk 15 minutes through the rain to get here, but, you know, we're here. Kayla, what can we expect the weather to be like for the rest of the week?
I had to walk here to Mauricio, and it was not a pleasant walk. My umbrella almost didn't make it. But unfortunately, we are going to be expecting fairly similar weather conditions tonight. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning issued by Denton County. Looking over in North Texas area, we see temperatures around 67 degrees Fahrenheit in Gainesville. And in Paris, Texas, we're all the way at 75 degrees Fahrenheit over here. And in Sherman, Texas, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Now across the state, we are seeing similar conditions, but with a bit lower temperatures. In Amarillo, we have 52 degrees Fahrenheit. In Houston, all the way 82. And in Austin, Texas, up to 87 degrees. Now let's look for the week. This week, we are going to be seeing lots of rain and gloom. Temperatures will be slowly getting lower with lows in the 40s. Friday, we can expect high chances of rain and thunderstorms, so be on the lookout for that. And lows in the 40s, so we will slowly be returning to fall weather. That's all I have for you. Back to everyone at the desk.
Thanks, Kayla. Early voting in Texas for the November 8th election begins Monday, October 24th and runs through Friday, November 4th. Texans will be voting for the next governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, land commissioner, agriculture commissioner, and comptroller. This is a big election year for Texas, and everyone is encouraged to go out and vote. Here's what you need to know to cast your ballot. First, make sure you are registered to vote, which you can check through the Texas Secretary of State's website or your county elections office. If you are unable to go vote in person, you can request a mail-in ballot by October 28th. If you are able to go vote in person, make sure to bring an acceptable form of ID. This includes a Texas driver's license, Texas identification card, state handgun license, U.S. military ID with photograph, U.S. citizenship certification with photograph, or a U.S. passport. When and where you can vote early depends on where you are registered to vote, so be sure to check voting times and locations for your county.
Due to the redistricting, which added a 5th Texas State House district to Denton County, voters will soon have to decide the first representative for the newly drawn District 57. The new district includes Ponder, Dish, and Southern Denton, along with Lake cities, Oak Point, Lakewood Village, parts of Crossroads, and most of Little Elm. Being a new district, there's no incumbent, with Republican Richard Hayes and Libertarian Darren Hamilton vying to fill the seat. Hayes had 57.5% of the vote in the primary election against 2 other candidates, none of which were Democratic. Hamilton previously ran in the 2020 general election as a Libertarian for District 24 U.S. Representative and lost as he only received 1.6% of the vote. Some people have claimed, however, that the map for District 57 is textbook racial gerrymandering on behalf of the Texas House Republicans. Hamilton has expressed this belief as well on his campaign website and throughout his campaign.
The student debt relief program that's being organized by the Biden administration isn't going anywhere thanks to a victory last Thursday in the Supreme Court. Republican-led states Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, Nebraska, South Carolina, and Iowa have all lost their case to cancel the president's student loan forgiveness program. A federal judge dismissed the lawsuit filed last month, which argued that the Biden administration did not have the legal authority and would have hurt private lenders. Student loan cancellations worth up to $20,000 per eligible borrower could begin as soon as Sunday. Even though there are still other lawsuits from the Arizona Republican Attorney General and the Cato Institute, court observers believe that the legal challenge that was dismissed Thursday had the best chance of success.
Students are experiencing a very difficult time these past few years with the COVID-19 pandemic bringing many classes online. While the results of that are coming to fruition, the math and reading scores for 4th and 8th graders are dropping. According to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, the average math score for 4th graders was 5 points lower than in 2019. The same decrease was seen amongst 8th graders as well. These findings were based on tests given during the first 3 months of the year. The lack of a face-to-face classroom appears to have played a significant factor in the decline of these scores.
The Better Business Bureau has issued a warning for a wedding photographer who has allegedly failed to show up on the big day for multiple clients. CBS 11 reports that 18 brides have complained that Olivia Seymour photography has been a no-show on multiple occasions, including weddings and engagement shoots. An investigation was launched early August due to the high volume of complaints. According to complaints, Seymour requires a deposit ranging from $300 to $800. Seymour's contract allows her to send a substitute if she is unable to make it. However, the substitute she sent was sweet but inexperienced. Seymour has used a variety of excuses, including a phone call claiming she needed to be with an ill family member, to sending pictures of thermometers claiming to be ill. This photographer is every bride's worst nightmare, with a lost security deposit and no shots from their big day.
Riding a bike alone is pretty fun, I'd say, but what if you had your dog to ride with you? Well, one man did just that. This story is coming up.
And of course, our wonderful Cowboys diehard of a sports anchor will have the latest in sports at the end of the show. Stick with us.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry.
It's that time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know. Come alive with the forest. The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Halloween is just around the corner, and I don't care how old I am, I will be going trick-or-treating. Our anchor Isabella Quintanilla has more on how to have a fun Halloween night while staying safe.
Thanks, Mauricio. I think we are all very excited for this Halloween this year, but we have to remember to keep ourselves and others safe. Denton is a big town and home to many families and college students who will all be out for Halloween. That being said, whether you're trick-or-treating or not, there are some general safety rules that everyone will be expected to follow. I spoke with the public information officer for the Denton Police Department to find out what recommendations they have for college students.
I mean, the big thing that's out of the ordinary is you've got a lot of kids, a lot of adults walking across the street, going trick-or-treating from house to house. So really one of the bigger safety concerns is that there's more traffic in the streets, often in neighborhoods. So when it comes to trick-or-treaters, we recommend that trick-or-treaters stay on the sidewalk, use the crosswalks, and still follow all safety laws, but at the same time, we also ask that drivers be cognizant of the fact that there still might be some people in the roadways that normally wouldn't be, and to drive slower, especially through neighborhoods.
The Denton PD also gave me some great tips on how to keep yourself and everyone else safe when you go out for Halloween. The first tip is to always be sure to walk in a group wherever you go. Next, try to wear bright or reflective items on your clothing with your costume so that drivers can easily spot you at night. Make sure to always use crosswalks following all the signals and to watch out for cars that may or may not see you. Finally, if you're driving on Halloween night, always be on alert for pedestrians and other drivers and never drive while under the influence. So if you're going out this weekend, be sure to remember all these tips and have a happy Halloween. A woman from Iowa has taken a new route for advocating for her beliefs. Rather than the standard Halloween display, Julie Schwitzerly has put up a graphic exhibit portraying her beliefs on abortion rights.
Is designed to catch attention and provoke a reaction. It takes an unfiltered approach to supporting women's reproductive rights. Julie Schwertley says she had the idea for it the moment Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court.
It's a big deal for me personally. I was 13 and an orphan, got pregnant by, of course, like a 20-year-old, and had to basically steal a friend's sister's car and drive 3 hours to Rockford, Illinois from where we were at to get an abortion.
She says no one but close family even knew about her story until last year, and because a health condition limits the activism she would like to do, she's letting her yard speak for her.
Now I have my own daughters, and I wouldn't want them to be put in that situation. I also would have died twice probably from a miscarriage that didn't miscarry.
The Beaverdale neighborhood includes a variety of political views, and some take issue with this display for Halloween. This neighbor asked we not use his name.
Not appropriate, that message on Halloween. You know, there's a time and place for everything, but what is meant for kids, a fun holiday, come on. Some other platform, or I don't care for that.
Schwertley says the people she hears from directly support the display, but she's not shying away from her message.
I'm mad and I want people to see it.
This isn't Schwartley's first controversy. She says that last year's display in favor of vaccines received more complaints.
eBay is removing online listings for Halloween costumes themed around the serial killer and sex offender Jeffrey Dahmer. Recent interest in the serial killer has spiked due to the hit Netflix series Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. eBay's policy states that it does not allow, quote, listings that promote or glorify violence or violent acts, unquote. That also includes the individuals who are notorious for committing those acts. The popular Netflix series has been criticized for being insensitive to Dahmer's victims, but other online retailers like Easy Appear seem to still keep selling kits labeled as Jeffrey Dahmer costumes.
Well, it has been proven everyone our age loves their Chick-fil-A. A recent survey conducted by Piper Sandler has ranked Chick-fil-A as Gen Z's top restaurant of choice, with 15% of respondents listing it as their favorite choice. Second place was taken by Starbucks, with 12% of teens marking it as their favorite, followed up by Chipotle and McDonald's. But the company still has yet to win over everyone. The Christian-based chain has garnered hate for their anti-LGBTQ views and continues to be the center of political debates and calls for boycotts. The food industry research firm Tectonic found that Chick-fil-A had a total of 2,730 outlets and hit nearly $16 billion in sales as of 2021.
I have some exciting news for all you Swifties. Taylor Swift's latest album has set a new streaming standard. Rick Damigella with today's Hollywood's Minute has more on Swift's latest record and Drake's next album.
Taylor Swift continues to break records.
I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero.
The singer released her 10th studio album, Midnights, on Friday, and the collection became the most streamed album in a single day on Spotify. Swift also became the most streamed artist in one day in the streaming platform's history.
I feel the need for speed.
The legacy legacy of Top Gun doesn't show any signs of letting up. The hit 1986 film was the most in-demand classic movie on streaming in September. The Wrap reports, citing data from Parrot Analytics, that the release of sequel Top Gun Maverick earlier this year propelled the Tom Cruise film to have 44.9 times the average movie demand.
I would have you courtside, not the middle row.
Drake has new music on the way. He will release a collaborative album with fellow rapper 21 Savage. The pair announced the news in the music video for their hit song Jimmy Cooks. The collection is titled Her Loss and will be available on October 28th. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Now, I know I just listened to Tay-Tay's album 3 times in a row, but I do know that it's not a glitch, get it like the song, a glitch that the Cowboys won this week. Alec, how are we feeling about Dak being back?
It's always great. Dak Prescott made his triumphant return to the gridiron, but he made his triumphant return to the gridiron this past weekend, but he wasn't the reason that the Cowboys won. I'll discuss the real reason behind this after this.
At a time when misinformation is all too common on social media, we take great pride in bringing you the news that matters, that impacts your family, news you can trust. Local broadcast journalists bring you the facts, covering the stories breaking in our community and across the globe. Text TV to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on local journalism. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
It was defensive dominance for the Dallas Cowboys, who took down the Lions yesterday 24-6. The defense had 5 sacks, including 2 from rookie defensive end Sam Williams, and 5 turnovers. All 6 of the Lions' points came in the first half. It was the first game back for Dak Prescott, who missed 5 weeks with a thumb injury, and Prescott finished the day with 207 yards and 1 touchdown, which came late in the fourth quarter on a pass to rookie tight end Peyton Hendershot. The Cowboys, they have opened up this weekend as 10-point favorites over the Chicago Bears. Wasn't a good weekend for UNT because they lost the Battle of the Birds after UTSA put together a 75-yard drive to take a 31-27 lead. The Mean Green scored late in the fourth quarter but left 1 minute and 38 seconds on the clock, which allowed Roadrunner quarterback Frank Harris to drive the field and win the game. The loss likely knocks UNT out of a potential conference championship game as the team has moved to 4-4 on the year. The Mean Green are back on the road this weekend as they head to Bowling Green to take on Western Kentucky. And the World Series is officially set. It begins this Thursday in Houston as the Astros will take on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies clinched their first trip back to the Fall Classic since 2009 in a 4-3 victory over the San Diego Padres. The Phillies fell behind early and they were trailing by 2 runs when Bryce Harper hit a drive into deep left field to take the lead and send the Phillies to the World Series. Philadelphia has a tough test against a Houston Astros team that has yet to lose a game this postseason. That's all from me. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Alec. We've got a cute story for you.
One man couldn't simply do without one of his favorite activities without his 4-legged best friend by his side, so he took it upon himself to create a solution.
Let's take a look.
Doing good.
From a distance, you might think that's a person on the front of that bike.
Going down the road.
But a closer look at these two, that's right, that's a doggy in some cool goggles.
Biking down the road.
Let's just call them doggles. This is...
My name is David Jensen, and I like to ride bikes with my dogs, Salt and Pepper.
David loves his bike and his dogs, and today it's just this cool cat, a canine, looking like a Zoolander model, hair blowing in the wind, those oversized and stylish sunglasses.
What I most find surprising is people who are not bikers and would normally not pay me any attention will look at me and go, that's cool. Or love the goggles. You know, it's all about the dog. It has nothing to do with me. But they love seeing the dog with the goggles. And
I'm smiling. You're probably smiling because just seeing Salt in these goggles, it is pure joy. Dave has gotten used to Salt's human paparazzi.
I'll talk to them and they'll take their photos and, you know, just kind of part of the gig.
How this come together? Well, Dave didn't want to bike alone, so...
Then I built the box. So they call it a long john.
And a star was born. But if you have a Salt, you have to have a...
Just for the camera and for everybody, the name of the dogs are...
Salt and Pepper.
You get that? Salt and Pepper. And although Pepper didn't ride today, she rides. So how does all this start? Release the hounds.
Hi, guys.
Hold on. You're going to knock the camera over.
So excited, goggly grunts. Salt is happy. But before he loads in, he's got to goggle up.
And Salt will jump in and they just sit there. It's not like they're trying to get out or get away from anything. It's just
Why would he when he's got a perfectly good human to pedal him around? Dave does have a day job at Providence, Alaska Medical Center, so this was all about multitasking.
the two loves I like to do. I like to bike and I like to play with my dogs and have fun.
So like all good things, the ride has to end just for today for this easy rider.
Paparazzi dog.
Paparazzi.
Well, Pepper's all pooped out, and Salt, he's happy as a canine clam, living his best in show life, sporting his goggles and his grin in the wind.
No, who knows? Maybe we'll see other people running around with dogs on their bikes now.
And that's the all good news.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again tomorrow here on North Texas Television.